People spend years learning music theory and I just wanted to write friggin' songs, so I fought against it, even convincing myself that it would stifle my creativity, when in reality I was just too lazy to put the hours in. It turns out I didn't even friggin' have to. So I'm going to show you everything you need to know in just this short video and some tools that you can use with your new knowledge to create endless amounts of music straight away. So you might know that there are 12 common notes in Western music because maths, or math if you're American, state that these sound best to our ears. And we give these letters from A to G with the in-between notes named sharp or flat relative to the others, giving us 12 in total. If we move up one increment, that's a half step called a semitone. And two halves make a whole, as we know, so two semitones make what we call a tone. The relationship between the 12 different notes is what we call a key. So most modern songs tend to stick within one key and work to a scale, and the two most common scales are major and minor, and each has 7 notes in them, again because some frigging clever clogs has grouped all the ones that work together for us. Each major scale always follows the same note spacing. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Each minor scale uses this spacing. Tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. So we're making friggin' music already. So each note in the scale is then given a number from 1 to 7 in alphabetical order, with 1 being the root of the key. So even with just that little bit of knowledge, what you could do is just be a massive friggin' nerd and just try and remember all them. Or you can just use this, which is my Maven Fiction analog chord generator. So this thing will show you all the notes in a particular scale, and as you slide it around, it'll show you the next one, and so forth and so on. So the middle note here will always be the major root note, so in this case C. And this note above it will always be what's called the relative minor, and every major key has a relative minor. And then from there, you can just count in order for each of the notes. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a good start, but to best take advantage of it, you now need to know a little bit about chords. So if we start to play a collection of notes in a scale at once, we get a chord. And different chords equal sort of different emotional flavours, if you like. So the most common chord uses the 1, the 3 and the 5, also called the root, the third and the fifth of the chord. And that's what we call a triad. And there are 2 main chord types. We've got a major and we've got a minor. And as a rule, major sound happy and minor sound sad. And on the analog chord generator, you can see this bottom row here is all the major chords in the scale. You've got all the minor chords in the scale, and then you've got this little friggin' special little bad boy here, which we're going to talk about now. Every major and minor scale will also have what's called a diminished chord, and it's always the 7th note of the major scale. So in this case, look, it's B. So we don't use them very often in sort of modern pop music, but it's worth knowing that every scale has a diminished chord, because you're going to play a chord within that scale that's going to sound a little bit funny or a little bit different to the others, and that's why. So the next thing you need to know about is progressions, and when you bundle a sequence of chords, that's called a friggin' chord progression. Who'd have thought? So in a major scale, the first 6 triads are major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then the 7th being that diminished chord that we spoke about. So if you do use the analog chord generator along with these handy chord sheets that I've made for guitar and piano, you've got all the major, minor and diminished triads. If you use them together, you'll be able to start making some chord progressions straight away. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 chords. We're going to use the C, which is the first of the C major, and we're going to use the relative minor, which is the A minor. And already you have a chord progression. So then the next thing you would need once you've got your chord progression would be some melodies, which are often the catchy and singable bits of the song. So what you can do is you can play notes from the scale over the chord, and the notes in each chord will work, but you aren't just limited to them, so you can experiment. Here, I'll just add a couple of notes in the scale, and we'll just get a little melody going over our chords. And then the last foundational thing that I think is really important to get you going is to know about rhythm and the counting system that we use in music. So we tend to divide everything into bars, and each bar has a number of beats, and in Western music we tend to favour what's called common time, which is 4/4, meaning 4 beats per bar. And we count it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. The full bar equals whole notes, the half bar equals half notes, and then each beat is a quarter note. But we can go in between those beats, and then we start doing subdivisions. And they're counted a little bit like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that would be 8th notes. But then you can go further, and you can go 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, and that would be 16th notes. And you can go to 64th notes, but you know, it gets less and less common the quicker that you start to divide things. So to maximise on all this new knowledge, go grab yourself one of my Speedy theory toolkits from the link in the description, or get it included as part of the extended course on my website, link below. From the same website, you can join my mailing list and get some free actionable steps if you're friggin' tight as a nun's chuff. And other than that, just bugger off. Just bugger off and go and spend your money on my stuff. Are you still here yet? I don't know, because I'm gone.